So hey, this is a quick one. I actually was about to start editing, but there was something that came across my desk the other day. On my desk, it ain't that real, but regular doom scrolling stuff. And sure enough, I found this clip of Joe Budden having a conversation about the Claressa Shields event the other day. So
here's what Joe said.
It was three. Yes, it was 3 or 4. You know how bad you got to be getting your ass beat for 4 people on the side in unison to feel like, all right, you've had enough. Can they find Claressa Shields like some fucking
tough
somebody that could fight?
Niggas don't want that problem, yo.
She's really her on the fighting tip.
She's an Olympic boxer.
Yeah, niggas don't want that problem.
Yeah.
Seeing her and Pap with the matching outfits, no comment.
My girl gonna send it to me.
When your girl said it. My problem with this is I don't really understand who threw this. I don't know who threw this event.
I don't know.
Was it Zeus? When I look around, Claressa Shields is a real fighter. She's really her. Nothing I'm saying is about her, really. Right. But I'm trying to understand the business of it. When they pan, and I'm a casual boxing person, so if Michael Buffer ain't there, there's certain things I need to be there for me to understand that this is a real fight. So they kept panning the camera in the audience, and half the time, it looked like a real fight. I'd see fighters and celebrities. And then the other half of the time, they kept showing me Atlanta's homeless population. They kept showing me people that didn't have an outfit to be at a boxing match, didn't have cologne.
That was the outfit.
No, that's the problem. That's how they was dressed at the boxing match. It was people with blue tongues. They was eating candy right before they came. Like this shit, it looked like people that just shouldn't have been outside. Nevertheless, at a fucking with a camera in front of them. So that for a casual boxing fan, you taking that as, all right, I know Claressa Shields gets busy. But the production and the arena and the audience and everything that surrounds her may be part of why she's not in the conversation the way she needs to be in the conversation.
I think it's because she's so far out the conversation.
Yes.
She has used different methods than other people do because it's hard for women boxers.
But there's a way for it to look.
So she's working with Salida Promotions and Win Records. So which is like a combo of like Salida's like the boxing side, Win is the music side. So they're doing
so then my problem is with the Salida side. Did they not have boxers to open up this boxing extravaganza?
I think it's...
Or did they do a deal with Zeus to put Natalie Nunn? Or some
that's
shit?
part of it too. Zeus
that's where the money comes from.
You hitting all the...
Like as a promoter, you got to be able to finance the event and all of that other shit. And if you're not getting financing coming from the traditional places, you got to look to other places.
Bro, I just
if I have the best fighter in the world or damn near in the world right here, then my options should be open.
Hold on.
I should have more options for who I get to sponsor this event.
Not from the female
side.
They're
going to have to get some
Jake Paul just did that shit with Amanda Serrano. So it's us doing it our version. Jake Paul did it. He did it. Jake Paul, Amanda Serrano, the whole Netflix thing.
No, what you're saying is different from what I'm saying.
I'm not saying
what Jake Paul did was know that he doing some spoof boxing shit and put real fighters before that fight.
And that's what they did too.
No, they did not.
You didn't. You got to pay him, though, Joe.
There weren't no real opening boxing matches. They put Ray J and Homeboy fought before Claressa Shields. Me and you could go out there and fight before Claressa Shields come out. Something about that just doesn't make sense.
So you don't
spend the money, pay the boxers, make it look like a real boxing event and not some reality TV.
But is the interest there enough to do that?
Shit.
But that's the problem. But if you got Zeus saying, "I'm gonna give you XYZ millions of dollars to put on your event," and that's the loudest and the biggest contributor,
and in order to do that, I need this and this and money.
Be clear, because I'm picking up some of what y'all putting down. I'm not slighting the business operation of Zeus. I'm saying for the business operation of Claressa Shields to look like it's supposed to look, they should separate themselves.
And I think,
or go back to the drawing board and figure out how to make it look more like Jake Paul makes it look.
But see, I think this is the intermediate step. I think step one is her being lower in the card.
Yes.
You hear me? The first step is her being lower in the card. The second is her being at the top of the card, but needing these shenanigans.
With a undercard.
And then if she builds this up, at some point, then you have a full, normal, traditional card. But I think this is the intermediate step as they build the business up. Because again, like you said, she's her. The problem ain't her talent. It's just there's not an appetite for women's boxing enough to put on the kind of show that you're talking about, which I agree with.
Inevitably, it caught virality and that sort of thing, and it did its bouncing around. And for whatever reason, like Claressa took offense to this comment or commentary that Joe Budden had for her. And of course, Papoose jumped up and he had something to say. And I'm going to insert, the clips of their conversation and whatnot. And they mostly responded on post. Like it wasn't a vocalized anything. And inside of that, I went and saw that Joe Budden responded to it. And here's his response in writing. He might, rehash on his show and whatnot, but it really wasn't that serious, right? And so I've seen people, it doesn't happen often. There are a lot of people that jump up and they enjoy Claressa Shields, and specifically seeing her fight. I saw a lot of people people could say what they want about you, but you could fight, you could this, you could that. I think that that's a bit of a misrepresentation of some of the criticism that she's gotten. And also, I think that that's an important pathology to highlight. I don't want to make it super deep, but I think that how people saw her be powerful, that was the draw. It was like, oh shit, this bitch got a hit on her. And I'm like, have y'all not seen her highlights before this moment? It's like, of course she has a hit on her, right? Like of course she's good at this, right? I thought that y'all knew this already, but there are some people that have been introduced to her, by way of all of the mess on the internet and the commentary about her outfits, the back and forth with Papoose and Remy Ma, and her being inside of this trio, triangle, quad something, who fucking knows? And I think an important thing to highlight, specifically inside of my stance, is that I don't wish anything but the best for Claressa, but there was a clip inside of the Essence conversation that she shared. I'm gonna see if I can find the snippet. And pretty much she said that the first time she was able to go to a water park was after she had become an Olympian. So she said 16, 17, she went to a water, and she was and more or less she was paying for it herself. Don't quote me on that, but I'm going to insert what she said. But what stood out to me was the disparity of experience and personal attainment. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't need to be an Olympian to go to a water park. But in her situation and in her case, she did. And this is the crux, because somebody left a comment. I might actually snip this comment and put it in here, because I think that I'm going to do a broader breakdown on the Papoose and Remy Ma thing, and specifically who I have a perception of who he is, right? I really don't think that I don't think he's as good of a guy as he presents himself as. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I really don't. I really don't. And it's not because of his dynamic with Remy and all this other stuff. That really doesn't have anything to do with it. Because I think people can break up and the guy isn't necessarily a bad guy. I don't know too many of that kind of situation, but I leave room for it. Now, past the feedback that he gave, it wasn't actually towards her. It wasn't about her. Several times, he acknowledged how outstanding she actually is. But for some reason, she still responded as if he was insulting her. And then you have Papoose coming through and making his statement as well. And when I sat back and I thought about it, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Remy and Joe is cool. And immediately it made sense. Because I'm like, Claressa, why would you not take this opportunity? This motherfucker is singing your praises. Why the fuck wouldn't you go on the Joe Budden podcast and go and talk to them? Now, again, I don't think that she does a great job in these social interactions, because I think that she has some social ineptness, right? But I'm like, bitch, these are your networking opportunities that you should be seizing. My opinion, again. I think that an important draw is that Claressa, I believe, is the backbone of not just what's happening at Salida Promotions right now, but the sustaining of Win Records. There is a lot of discourse, especially in these YouTube streets, about Win Records, and I think that Win Records is a year old. The founder of Win Records is actually previously a nurse. Yeah, who's invested in the company and all these other things. And the biggest star at Win Records is Claressa Shields. And what's so tough about this is that I don't think that Claressa has enough wherewithal to recognize the responsibility that she is footing to generate wealth inside of the organization that Pap has brought her to. And that's the part of it. Again, this is the girl that believed that she needed to be an Olympian to have a visit or a trip to a water park. That kind of disparity in worth and contributions can be very easily exploited by people that are a bit older than you, is my view. I think that she is going into all of these fights again to generate a lot of excitement and money for Win Records. But I also think that her challenge, and this is just personal thought, I watched a few of her highlights because one of the things that I think is very clear about Claressa Shields, just as a combat sport athlete, right? She's without a doubt mad strong. Full stop. Full stop. Like, it's a non-negotiable. But when I watched her, and I was like, the whole thing with her and K. Scott very well could have been just for, like, I think it went 6 rounds in part for entertainment, but there were a couple times that K. Scott was able to, like, land a couple jabs, and it surprised me. I'm like, that's interesting. Another part of it is like, one of the critiques I believe that she had an issue with Layla Ali about was how much muscular development she has in her physique. So there's all of that conversation around the fact that Claressa took the whole, weigh-in outfit from Alicia Baumgardner and all of that stuff. And when you take their two pictures and compare, you can see like the muscular development is very different. Again, I have no doubt in my mind about Claressa's power, but the dedication to the muscles looks a little different. And specifically, one of the standout things for me to Claressa is like her legs. I feel like I'm going to take 2 pictures. I'm going to take Claressa's weigh-in picture and another person's picture and compare and contrast. And I want you to take a minute, look at it. Do you see why, like, I feel like when Layla was giving the critique, this was a part of that discussion, right? Bringing to light that you aren't fully optimizing your potential. Like, you still have so much more that you can do, and you've done a lot. But there's all of this conversation again around the quality of her fights and her capacity to knock people out and all these other things. And I'm like, okay, what's that about? And when I looked at, again, some of these fights, and I even went as far as looking at some of her MMA fights, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to put the clips in of the MMA fights.
Flurry here for Claressa Shields, and that'll cause Abigail Montez to grab a hold.
Much more of a 50-50 position. She's still giving up some hip position here. Montez has done a great job.
Round 2 next. The circle around the outside of the cage. Rushing in is Claressa Shields.
Hurt her.
Once again, Abigail Montez thinks better of the striking exchanges and pushes Shields to the cage. Shields, after Montez is able to temporarily get behind her, Claressa works her way back to a more neutral position.
Yeah, Claressa's framing well. Just needs to get that head position a little bit lower where she can break off of that clinch, and she's doing that now. There she is.
Able to break away from that cage grappling here. Now Claressa Shields stalking down. Abigail Montez lands a right hand at the end of that combination. Pushes off one more time. Little blood coming from, I think, the mouth of Abigail Montez. Comes in with a kick. Ooh, another big right hand. Montez is starting to feel some of these strikes from the 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Good level change from Abigail Montez. Drives Claressa all the way across the cage. Yeah, and closing moments of round number 2. Round 3 when we return.
Montez doing a great job of trying to stay out at kicking range and not in that striking. Big right hand.
Shields looking to separate and try and make something happen with her hands. Montez desperately clinging to Claressa Shields, trying to get her down to the mat one more time. Successful takedown offense so far from Claressa Shields.
Get a little space, change the angle with your hips, then you can work on framing.
Montez temporarily drags Claressa Shields down to the ground. Shields builds her base and stands right back up. And they go back to work against the cage.
Shields has got to circle that right underhook. That's it, right there. She's going to get a takedown on her own here.
Trying to muscle Abigail Montez down, steps across for the trip. And now Claressa Shields in the old school bully headlock there. Here in our broadcast position, and you can hear what they're saying, and then Claressa, it's like a video game. She just does it. Abigail Montez, nice underneath the right hand, driving through for another takedown. 2 minutes for Claressa Shields. Montez on top, having a hard time creating meaningful offense from here, but Claressa Shields has got to find a way to get herself back to her feet. She went back to her corner, and clearly they said, you got to mount real offense when you get into these controlled positions. She's making a concerted effort to do so here in the closing moments of this third round.
But she is staying busy, and she is dominating with her control. Now landing some big shots here against Shields with only 20 seconds to go.
Full mount.
Abigail Montez mounted on Claressa Shields, pounding away. These are big punches from the top. Abigail Montez with a flurry as the 10-second clapper sounds. Shields unable to escape from her back. And Abigail Montez will finish this fight on top. Impressive performance by Abigail Montez.
Nice combination by Claressa Shields, but she over travels as she punches and gets a little too close to Montez, allows her to get in deep on those hips, drive her feet through, and continue for the takedown. These two takedowns were the big difference in this fight. The effective punching came from Claressa Shields. Unfortunately, in 2 of the rounds, they spent a lot of time right here with one athlete on top of the other and scoring a lot from the top position. I got to admire Claressa Shields' composure in literally the worst position you could be in as a boxer, and she still does a great job of surviving there.
Abigail Montez!
In her U.S. debut, 3-0 as a professional mixed martial artist.
Because, yeah, they might copyright it, but I'm gonna see if I could. If I can, you'll see them. And the thing that I understand about how she wins is by overpowering. She wins in brute. She wins in brawn. But now that I'm watching this technical ability, I'm like, maybe that's what it is. Maybe she's afraid of her inability to assess, like, her situation. I think her situational awareness is 0. I think that she has no situational awareness. She actually, I'm gonna show you this clip of her responding to the backlash of the wearing of the outfits. Watch this.
With a whole different look. I had on ostrich that was custom made. And when it's custom made, you're the only motherfucker in it. So I had a custom made ostrich coat that was open in the back and open in the front. And then with the bathing suit, it's like people always looking at like me. I actually had a Gucci bathing suit, but I wore it this morning for the real weigh-in. And then for the ceremonial, I said I didn't want to wear the same one, so I did my other one. But it was like, girl, this bathing suit cost like $1,300 or something like that. But I got a bunch of stuff from that company. So I'm really confused on how somebody is copying them, and it's a whole different look. different hairstyle, different body. I wore ostrich. She wore fur, which she's copied me with all my furs and everything. I never said nothing about it. I just let it go because at the end of the day, if you can afford to buy fur and you can afford to wear the stuff that I wear and you wear it, it's like, I'm not going to say that you somebody that copied me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you a little inspired, but I'm not a person that's like, oh, you can't wear what you want. It's like, girl, you can wear what you want. So it's just weird that she even tried to take it there. Like, girl, I bet you can't copy Floyd Mayweather being there at your fight, co-signing you. I bet you can't copy that pound for pound #1. I bet you can't copy having a good man who by your side, holding it down, making sure everything go perfect. Make sure that he contributes to you and to your fight. That's what you can't copy.
You see that she's actually struggling to process the thoughts that she wants to articulate in real time. Like, she can't have that conversation. And most people say, like, oh, she's doing that just because she's lying. But I'm like, the thing about a good liar is they can anticipate what you're going to think based on a statement, and they can draw a conclusion or come up with in a story because they have that pattern recognition of thought. That future processing, I think it's a specific term for it. It's a skill that you develop in chess. It's a type of intelligence, right? That if I step this way, my opponent is also going to step this way. When you're playing chess, it's like, if I move this pawn, this person will move this pawn, but I know that the knight can come this way or move that way. And if I move my queen here, then I'm vulnerable for a checkmate. That kind of thing. It's that kind of thinking. And it kind of looks like, and this might sound like cold, but hear me out. It looks like autism. But I think that it actually is, her social ineptness is coming from the traumatizing background that she's come up in. Because remember, she dealt with abuse like as early as 5 years old, was moved around, and then she was an 11-year-old that started boxing. She wasn't in social settings that would allow her to learn how to interact with people, recognize faces, and when someone's upset, when someone's not upset, when someone thinks something is funny, all of these things. I don't think that she's developed those skills as effectively. And I really genuinely believe that her boxing career came from, we talked about this before, the desperation, the delusion. It's that hunger. And it turned into something positive. But now that she's at this juncture of her life, it has to be a strategy. There needs to be tact. But that's not the skills that she's developed in her lifetime. And in essence, she's avoided it. And this is why I think, again, just a hunch, this is why I think that she was particularly offended by what Layla Ali said about her physique. And all she talks about, she was like, oh, my ass is fat, and Alicia was on PEDs. But then I'm like, well, Megan Thee Stallion has more muscle definition in her legs than you do. And you're a combat athlete. And that would actually be helpful for you. In fact, when I saw that she had like a knee brace on, I want to say her left knee. And I'm like, she probably has like glute amnesia and she has weakness in her hips that sparks knee pain. But that's something that like her team, if they are paying attention and if she's transparent with them, they can help her through that. They can build that up. And I feel like this is a part of what's being exploited in her life right now. The inability to just recognize that that's what's going on. Like they're using you, hun. And it's cool to be used if you are aware of it and you are prepared to deal with all of these things. And inside of that, I saw this little clip of her being on live and her interaction with Pat. I'm gonna let y'all see.
Babe, you up? Hello? I'm on live. Do not start cussing me out. What? Here. Why not? Okay, whatever. Anyways, so good, or you just not gonna eat a period? Microwave or what? Hello?
I hope I'm not talking to you a lot.
I'm saying you can put it in the microwave or put it in the refrigerator. No, I could have sat down and ate some more then. Anyways. I'm feeling my.
But her inability to recognize, like, so pay attention to the hostility that she gave Joe Budden versus the tucking her tail between her legs with Pap. Tell me what you think. I just wanted to get that off my chest before I packed up the day, because I felt like I saw it and I didn't think the commentary was bad, but she had this negative response. And then when she was interacting with Pap, she like, yeah, don't curse me out. And I could have stayed where I was at and all this. And I was just like, yeah, I think that there is a bit more exploitation to discuss there, but hopefully she figures it out. Until next time, y'all. Bye.